Hello, it's been a while. Today we continue with this series about visual storytelling. In the previous one, we talked about what is visual storytelling for artists, and today I bring you three practical exercises where you can work on your visual storytelling. Also, I have a bit of a flu, so if you hear my voice a bit weird, it's because of that. So, the first exercise, we're gonna talk about the relation between an object and a character. As we talked in the previous video, which I really advise you to check it, is gonna be in the links down below. A way to define visual storytelling is when an image tells you the relationship between a character and something else, and blank. In this case, we're gonna start with talking about the relationship between the character and an object. So there are objects that have a big impact on the story. Maybe they are important to the character, maybe they are the key to something, maybe they are important for the overall plot. Maybe it's the reason the plot is happening in the first place. Whatever you want to think, but ask yourself this. All these exercises are going to be through some questions that I want you to ask yourself before making the piece, so you will know better what to do and how to make a better final result. I feel that a lot of the times when we start a piece and we wanted to tell a story, we forget that we need a story to tell in order to draw it properly. So these questions will hopefully help you. Why is it important? Why is the object important? Is because it's an emotional value or it's an historical value? Let's say Indiana Jones kind of historical value, or it's maybe just the last thing the protagonists have from their dead parents, or something that reminds them of their best friend or something like that. It's emotional value, historical value. Maybe it's worth a lot of money, or it's the key to solving a crime. Maybe it's the last piece of evidence and that's why they are protecting it. Or maybe it's the last piece of evidence that could put them behind the bars and it's the reason they are trying to destroy it. So that brings us to the next question. What is the object's relation with the character? Is the character trying to destroy it or to protect it? Do they want to know how it works, or do they already know? Are they proud of having it, or are they afraid, or are they curious? If this object has some sort of power, do they know how to use it, or are they still finding out? Are they curious about this, or is they are scared? Or maybe they are confident that they will find it. Another idea is maybe the object is trying to be something else. So let's say it's a broom that the character is using to dance with, thinking about the person they love. Or maybe it's a photo that's being used as a target, and they are aiming at it with all the anger that they have. These questions will help you define what kind of piece you're trying to do and guide you on how to tell a better story. Once you have these questions figured out, it will be way easier to decide what composition do you want to do, what colors you want to use, and how are you going to draw your piece. In the second exercise, we're going to talk about the relation between two characters, and for this particular exercise, we're not going to use a background. The background is not going to be important in this one. Let's try to just leave them in either a white background or a solid color background. We'll see depending on the story we're trying to tell. I know a lot of us hate drawing backgrounds. They are very important in a lot of cases, but just for this one, let's indulge us a bit and avoid them. How two characters interact can tell us a lot about their personalities and their opinions on each other. So let's do again a bit of questions. What's the relationship? Do they love each other? Do they hate each other? Do they even know each other? If they don't, maybe they are destined to meet? What's their relation in the story? And here I want you to take this into account, especially for the pose you're gonna use. If two people like each other, they tend to be closer, unless if they are fighting, then we're gonna see that in the pose. Or maybe they hate each other and they are also very close, but their expressions are like angry ones. Where do they come from? Where are they? This is very important in order to define the proper clothes they're gonna be wearing. How do they dress? Do they dress that way because they like it? They are being forced to by someone or something? Let's say different characters will wear the same uniform in a different way. Let's think for a moment about Haikyuu, for example, where Bokuto and Akashi both wear the uniform in a very different way, even though it's the same uniform. The same happens with every single character on the manga and every single person in the world. You might be forced to wear an uniform, but it's gonna be different depending on the person. Maybe you like to have it clean and your shirt tucked in and all that stuff, or maybe you're just chill and you're gonna get with a wrinkled shirt to the school and you don't really care about it. Maybe you want to add something extra because it's cold, so let's say you can add a scarf on top of everything. Or maybe you don't care about the uniform and you don't wear a uniform. Maybe you're not forced to wear a uniform. So think about it. Are they proud? Let's say they are proud of being from a specific indigenous culture, so they proudly wear clothes that resemble that. Or maybe they are a bit ashamed and they try to hide it. Or maybe they are in a middle point where they're not exactly ashamed, but they don't like to wear it because it gets a lot of attention, so they have some sort of middle ground. That can affect a lot. And despite the fact that we're not going to draw a background, I want you to think, where are they? Because this can give us examples of the conditions of the place they're in. Maybe you can add a few leaves or maybe sunlight around them. That will help the viewer get a better and fuller story. And now for the last one, we're going to talk about the relation between the environment and the character. Okay, so let's ask, where is the character? Are they at their home? Are they in a new place? Is it dangerous for them? Why? If it is dangerous, it's because they don't know how that place works. Maybe they're new, or it's because it's an enemy basis. It's not the same being in your home as being in an enemy's place. What are they doing? Why are they there? Maybe they're at home and they're just healing someone. These questions help a lot defining details both in the pose and expression of the character and details on the background. In this case, for example, my witch is at home. She feels safe and confident, and that's the reason we see her very chill in her home. And I also want to convey that she is a witch, and we're talking about magic stuff. So that's why we see all this potions and eyes and shiny stuff and weird plants hanging around. If we were in a futuristic setting and the protagonist is, I don't know, healing someone, let's say they're treating someone else's wounds, it's not the same how they're gonna treat them if they are in the middle of the battlefield or if they are in the med space in their own ship. All these details are very important to take into account whenever you make a picture, because they will affect how your character behaves, how they are expressing themselves, and how they interact with the environment. If they are discovering a new place, they're probably gonna be amazed, wondering, or maybe they're afraid. It will depend a lot on their personalities. If they're in a place full of people, maybe the people are ignoring them, or are they paying attention? All these questions, it's important to, especially if you can write them down or have them clear in your head at least. That way you will know how to express better whenever you want to tell a story through your drawings. That will be all for today. Sorry about my voice again, and if you want to learn more about visual storytelling, you can check this video right here. Bye bye.